Hi everyone, this is Shannon from theirishscrapper.com, and today I have another fun project for you. I thought it might be nice to create a placeholder for our upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. So this is the project that we are going to make, and I am using the scarecrow image out of the Cookie Cutter Halloween. And you can see I've done some stamping, some sponging, some coloring, and then a little bit of designer series paper. So let me show you the products that we're using. Like I said, we're using the scarecrow from Cookie Cutter Halloween. We are using one of our craft bags. We are using some of the Warmth and Cheer designer series paper. This is the pattern we're using, but this is double-sided. This is out of our holiday catalog. We are also going to be using the Lots of Labels framelits. And then our sentiment is from the Teeny Tiny Wishes, the Happy Thanksgiving. Okay. And we are also using a few punches. So here's the cookie cutter punch that coordinates with this stamp set. We are using the classic label punch. And we are also using the Woodlands textured embossing folder. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I've done a little bit of it in advance, so you can see I have a label already cut from the Big Shot, and I used the second largest label from this framelit set. I embossed that with the Woodlands embossing folder, so that's ready. I have our designer series paper here as well, and this is cut, let me tell you, 2.5 by 4 1/8. Yeah, and we're going to use that on the front. So let me just quickly look at about where I folded this. So I'm folding our bag forward, so we also see the detail of the edge of our craft bag. Okay, and then you'll see this is how this is going to work. So we're going to put that on the front, this on top. So let's do a little bit of stamping and a little bit of sponging. Let me see, here's my scarecrow. I'm going to stamp him in the archival black, and we will stamp him on a piece of Whisper white. And you could totally use the Very Vanilla on this as well. Either would look fine, because with the sponging, you won't see, much difference between either of those. I really love this set. It's absolutely, definitely a favorite for me. And let me stamp my little crow as well while I have this out. And I'm going to stamp him over here because I'm going to actually fussy cut him out. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we'll take our cookie cutter punch and we will line that up. Let me see here. That looks good. Let all those pieces fall out. Get those out of our way. Okay, we're going to set him aside and let that archival black ink dry a bit, because I tend to smudge it. And then I'm just going to trim my little crow out, and I'm going to fussy cut him out. Alright, so there's our crow. Pull these out of here. Alright, and then I have my silicone pad here, and I'm going to take my label and my old, sorry, not my old olive. I think I'm going to use my Sahara sand. I'm pretty sure that's what I used the first time. And then I am just going to come in here and go in a circular motion all the way around. Like I said before, this is one of my favorite embossing folders to sponge because the trees just really pop out when you do that. I'm just going to go around her edges a little bit. And this will, you know, just fit in perfectly with that craft bag. Okay, so we have that. And then I'm actually using a couple items that are left over from Paper Pumpkin. So the October Paper Pumpkin kit, there was some leaves. And these were actually what we punched out of that kit. And we used the negative, you know, that it left behind. So I chose to use these two leaves, and I'm going to use my old olive and my finger dauber, and I'm going to color those. So it's always good. Every Paper Pumpkin always leaves you, you know, with leftovers. And you always have to remember and keep that in mind. There's lots of good stuff in those kits. And it's nice to be able to use that on your other projects. So there's one, and I'm using these are embossed too, which I know is probably very hard to tell on camera, and we're coloring in that side. And this is pretty dark, but I like it that way. It's for this project. You can see the lines, but it gives it a little bit different shade and tone. I got a little ink on me, but that's okay. Alright, and that's what these silicone mats, we have these in our annual catalog, are great for adhesive as well as if you're inking and sponging to keep your work surface clean. Alright, so I think we can go ahead now and color our scarecrow. So I am using 3 markers. I'm using the Old Olive, Tip Top Taupe, and Pumpkin Pie. So I think I'll start with the Old Olive actually, and I'll color in his coat. If you're not familiar with our Stampin' Write markers, we do sell them by the color collection. So you can choose to do it that way. Otherwise, we're also selling them in 2-packs throughout the catalog in different color combinations. And they are double-sided, so you have your paintbrush tip and then you have your finer tip. And I absolutely love them. I think they're awesome to work with, very easy. I love the paintbrush side. Nice big stroke for little things that, you know, you can color quickly. I color in his hat too while I'm here. Okay. Alright, let's do some Paper Pumpkin. Right. There we go. Alright, and then while I have my Paper Pumpkin marker handy, we will also do our sentiment. Whoops, dropped my paper. So I just have a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I have our sentiment Happy Thanksgiving from the Teeny Tiny Wishes, and I'm just going to use that marker tip and color right over my sentiment, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to huff just to make sure my ink is wet, and then I'm going to stamp that. Just give that a nice even pressure. Light pressure on these Teeny Tiny Wishes. It's such a small set, you don't want to give it too much of a heavy hand. And then we will punch that with our classic label punch. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we're about ready to assemble now. I'm going to do a little bit more stamping with that crow, and this time I'm going to use my crumb cake. And you can choose to just freehand, or you can place your designer series paper here if you just really want the crows, you know, to show you can stamp with this here. I did my original. I just, you know, stamped sporadically all over my bag. And you just have to be sure you hold it down. You will notice down the center there's a crease, so it's a little bit harder to get a clean image in the center. Whoops, I rocked that one because I got my finger caught. I just thought it gave the bag a little extra something, and that'll dry a little bit lighter than it shows now. Okay, so as far as assembly, since I have not filled my bags yet, I am just putting adhesive at this upper part of my images and pieces so that I still have the option of coming back and filling those as we get closer. So I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse at the top part of our designer series paper, and then we're going to put our label here. So I'm leaving myself room to put my sentiment down here. So again, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the edge. Actually, I think I'll go this way. I think I did it that way on my original, so I'm only getting it at the top, so I can still open my bag. Yeah. Okay, so you can see we can still get in there just fine. And then for our other pieces, we're pretty much gonna stick our leaves down. We're gonna put our little scarecrow in the center like that. So hopefully that doesn't look like wings. I just thought this needed a little bit more pop of green. I think it's so pretty. The little crow's gonna go there, and then our little sentiment is gonna go down there. So I also chose to use some of my twine. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. This is also left over from a paper pumpkin kit. And this is what I'm going to use to hold my bag. So I'm going to trim this like that. And then we're going to tie this in a bow so that, again, we can reopen it. Hopefully I can do this on camera. Yeah. And I'm not going to mess with the bow too much now, since I'm just going to open it again. So that's what we're going to use to hold our bag shut. And then I'm going to put some adhesive onto the back of our leaves. And we're going to stick that there. Whoops. Alright, and then we're going to use a little bit of dimensional. So you can either, you could put dimensionals down the center of him, which would kind of hold the twine in place. It'll probably still be able to pop up to open up your bag if you are not filling it as you make this project. Otherwise, you can always add a little bit more adhesive, on the day of, once you have it filled. So you can sit him like that. I'm going to use a little half of a dimensional on the crow. Okay, and he's going to sit kind of on his shoulder over here. And then we'll use a couple more half dimensionals on our sentiment. So I'm not putting one over the twine. Our burlap ribbon would be cute here as well. Mine is actually in the mail right now, so I have not gotten it yet, but that would have worked perfectly too. The linen twine would work just the same. So there it is. There's our little placeholder. I think these are super cute. This one's a little bit long. I haven't cut it. I was trying to decide if I liked it shorter or longer. I like them both ways, but I love our little scarecrow, and I think these would be a perfect little addition to your table. Very simple to make, and you can always fill them with whatever treat makes your family happy. So if you'd like to purchase any of the products that we use today, you can visit my online store at theirishscrapper.stampinup.net. I will have a full product list on my blog, coordinating blog post for today. And we are having some November promotions, so please visit my blog to see those as well. There are some stamp sets that are currently 25% off that coordinate with our new stitched framelits, and I'm hoping to have a project using those later this week, so stay tuned for that. And I look forward to being back with you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.